At the end of this video, you'll see how much money we get for our silver waste. As you know, silver is infinitely recyclable. So we save every single last scrap of silver and put them in these little pots. And then a couple of times a year, when the silver price is high, we send off our silver scrap and we get paid for it. Silver is obviously sawn off in bigger chunks, but anytime you're doing any kind of finishing like you're seeing here, silver is coming off in these tiny little bits. So all of the dust around the room is got silver particles in it or gold particles. So you want to try and store all of this dust as much as possible. This machine here is the Fordham extraction unit with a fish mouth that we have at every single bench, and I love them so much. I feel like they do an amazing job of keeping the workshop clean, and also they just make it pleasant when you're working at the bench to not have loads of dust going in your face. And at the end of the day, when you leave, you're not covered in dust. And I've worked in workshops before where I would be covered in dust, like I would wash my hair and it would be black. We obviously wear masks as well, but this is such a good system for collecting the dust and then having it there to be able to cash it in later. We kind of weigh our own scrap so that we have an idea of what we're going to get paid for it. In here we have brass and silver. Brass isn't worth very much, so I did separate it later so that we had a better idea of what our silver scrap would be worth. It's impossible for us to know what the dust is going to be worth because it has to be burned basically, which doesn't sound great for the environment, but I think if you imagine all of the workshop waste being burned and then the silver scrap being harvested from that, if you consider that to be better than the environmental impact of mining, I'm not sure. We basically bag it all up, and when we have about 3 or 4 huge workshop sacks like this, it's kind of worth us sending it off at that point. And we're always surprised by how many grams of silver is in this dust. The bags are labelled as workshop waste because we do not want to accidentally chuck one of these away, because they're probably worth about like £300 each. So this is the invoice for how much we got for our solid silver scrap. This is the actual chunks of silver and brass that we sent off to get refined. This second invoice is how much money we were paid for our dust that was refined.